Welcome back to Tamano Perspective. Thank you, Congressman Edsel Lagman and Vice Chairman Atienza for joining us. We're going to talk about something very important. Let's start with you, Edsel. Are you going to give us a Christmas gift? Those who are pro-RH are saying that, you know, this bill has been pending since 1998. Is there a chance that Congress will actually pass this bill before Christmas?
We're hoping that before the Christmas break, we can vote on the bill.
Okay.
And that would be the best Christmas gift we can give to the Filipino people, more particularly our women and couples.
Well, what's the chance? Let's talk possibilities. Is it 50%?
Well,
60%?
You know, between the hope and the reality, there has to be a process. And we're still undergoing the process of interpellations.
Okay.
And after that, there will be the committee and the individual amendments.
No, but Edsel, you guys have been talking since 1998.
That is correct, Adele. Since 12 years ago, this issue on reproductive health has been intensively and exhaustively discussed inside and outside of Congress. And among the first persons to discuss this is Lito and myself when we debated on this about 5 years ago.
Yeah, but there's nothing new. Yeah, there's nothing new.
There's nothing new anymore. And if you notice, the interpellations are really repetitive, parang sing-song fashion. So we're just trying to be patient and to answer the questions. But I hope the Speaker can come out with the rules of engagement so that there will be no repetitive questions, so that the presiding officer can rule that that's not allowed by the rules of engagement, and then there will be a limitation on a 1 hour interpellation.
Have you filed a motion to ask the Speaker to do these rules?
The draft of the rules have been submitted by the Rules Committee about 2 months ago, and hopefully the Speaker would release the rules of engagement. I think he's talking to some friends of Lito in the House, but not to get their permission, but just to tell them that the rules are forthcoming.
Okay, Lito, you've said that this RH bill is worse than martial law. So if we get that Christmas gift, you're going to be very unhappy.
It's not going to be a Christmas gift. If they force it, it's a guillotine that will cut off the Filipino from our future. Talagang sisira yan sa ating pagkatao.
What did you mean by that? That because a lot of people got mad when you said that this RH bill is worse than martial law, especially the people who suffered under martial law.
I suffered under martial law.
Yes.
And when I said that, I only meant that it will really destroy the Filipinos' future. Alam mo, yung RH bill is the first step towards abortion, divorce, same-sex marriage, and all the what we call as the pro-death bills that are now in place in many countries. They all started with the RH bill. Kaya pag yan talaga pinasa ng aking kumpadre at ng kanyang mga kasamahan, I don't look at it as a gift. It's going to be a destruction of the hope of the Filipino. That is strong family, values, love, life, marriage.
Okay, I'm going to throw a question at you. I'm going to add something to what Lito said. Actually, one of the strong arguments, I think, from the pro-lifers is that you are going to use scarce government resources instead of, for example, for education. You're going to use it to buy contraceptives. Edsel, what is your answer to this, I think, valid point of those who are anti-RH?
Okay. Well, firstly, I think if we are able to enact the reproductive health law, that would be the best thing that would happen to this country after the abolition of martial law.
Martial law, okay.
Now, it is very cost-effective.
Okay.
And according to the UNICEF, family planning would bring more benefits to more people at less cost than any human technology known to mankind.
Okay.
You know, the initial appropriation would be about 3 billion pesos, not only to buy contraceptives, but to educate our people. Because the central idea is freedom of informed choice. You cannot have choice if you are not informed. That's why that is a very important portion of the thrust of the reproductive health bill.
Okay, now let me move you, Edsel, to this point. According to Senator Enrile, because you want the bill to become law, but of course there are others who don't want it to become law. One of the oppositors is Senator Enrile. He's saying that no one's going to talk about the RH bill till after Christmas because they're talking about the budget. But if that happens, come 2012, it's almost election time, don't you think that that will effectively stop the RH bill from being enacted, and it's going to delay your agenda? Because even if it's enacted in 2012, you're still going to have to look for money for that, and perhaps it'll only be in 2013 that you will be able to really start putting forth the policies under the RH bill.
Let me say that I think starting today or tomorrow, the Senate would resume consideration of the RH bill because they've already approved the General Appropriations bill on third reading. As a matter of fact, we are now in the bicameral conference, and by tomorrow we are scheduled to sign the bicameral conference report. So that there will be some time yet left for the discussion of the RH bill. Now, let me just go back to education.
Okay.
And, you know, why do we have backlogs, perennial backlogs in classrooms, teachers, instructional materials, sanitary facilities in our schools? Because we are inordinately having a huge population growth rate. I'm not saying that the purpose of the bill is to mitigate population growth. What I'm saying, if we are able to educate our people, more particularly our women and couples, to freely and responsibly decide on in the number and spacing of their children, the effective logical result of reproductive health education would be the mitigation of the population growth rate.
Okay.
And we cannot possibly solve the problems of education if we are not able to address the issue on population.
Okay.
Because
Lito,
there is no development plan which can succeed without addressing the population problem.
Yeah, Lito's
Congressman
been
Lagman
wanting
is
to-
swinging back and forth. It's not a population control measure, but it is a population control measure because he says, ang solusyon sa ating mga problema sa edukasyon, bawasan ng estudyante, bawasan ng tao. Mali! Ang solusyon sa ating pagkukulang sa edukasyon, let's concentrate more on the essentials. Reforming, improving the education system, teach our children math, sciences, and not sex education.
Yeah, but
it
Lito,
will not improve the quality of
Lito,
education if you concentrate on sex education from grade 5 to 4th year.
Yes, Lito, but the point really is that we've had all these debates already before. And I guess the thing that I want to ask you is, you know, the Pulse Asia said 7 out of 10 Filipinos favor the enactment of this bill. So, don't you think
let me
that
correct that first. Right?
as a matter of democracy, that you know, the politicians should already enact this bill since there's overwhelming support
Let me correct
for it.
first the data that you just gave.
Okay.
According to our own surveys that are asked that ask exactly the purpose, the intention, and the effects of each provision of the proposed law, we got an 85-90% refusal. People don't want sex education for their children. But you have to ask the question specifically. Yung kanilang questioning, gusto ba niyo na mas mahusay na buhay? Siyempre, nobody wants.
So you're disputing the Pulse Asia
Definitely.
survey?
I'm
survey
saying
company
we have
did?
our own
Yeah.
survey, and clearly it shows if you ask the respondent specific questions on the provisions of the proposed law, they reject it. Sex education is abominable as far as the parents are concerned. They don't want the children to be taught sex by the teacher. But they do not ask this question.
No, but I want to focus more on what is the general sentiment. And my impression is the general sentiment is there's overwhelming support for the RH bill. Would you like to respond to
Yes,
that?
Lito says according to our survey. But I don't know whether that survey has been published, whether they have identified the surveyor or the survey company. But in our case, we do not have our own survey. The survey is made by the SWS and Pulse Asia, and for the past 2 decades, overwhelming support of the Philippine public is for the passage of the RH bill, including the use of government of funds to promote family planning, including contraceptive.
But let me jump on that point. You have overwhelming support. Lito may disagree with that. Pinoy, well, he claimed when he ran for president that he supports the bill. I want to get your unique perspective, being someone from the opposition. With all these factors, you have a president who supports it, overwhelming public support. Why are we still not enacting the RH bill?
Well, in the first place, this is not a minority bill. This is a bipartisan bill.
Yes.
And no less than the president has endorsed this to be a priority measure to the LEDAC and to the Congress.
Okay.
Why? Why is it that we are still debating on this? Well, it's because we have an opposition to the measure that would be happy in delaying the enactment of the bill. To them, delay is victory. But you know, delay is ephemeral.
No.
Delay is not victory.
Definitely, we don't believe that delay is victory.
If the purpose is not to delay, then we could have voted on this a long time ago. But they keep on adding interpellators.
Yeah, but don't you think, Edsel,
I think it's a matter of leadership.
Yeah, and it's a weakness of the RH bill, people who are pushing it, that they're able to delay. So my question is, let's be categorical. Edsel, can you tell us that this bill will be passed by the 15th Congress?
We hope not.
Well, I'm positive it would be. But with respect to before the Christmas break, it might be very difficult because of the processes we have to undergo, most probably before we have the Lenten break.
Adele, you mentioned about the congressional proceedings.
Yes.
It only shows the deep division, even in Congress. When you talk about the opposition to the bill, it only shows the fundamental differences that our people have as represented by the congressmen. Even in Congress, they're deeply divided. In the Senate, we see Senate President no less, the majority floor leader no less, and several senators speaking very violently against it. So why are we pushing it?
If the bill does pass into law, will you abide by the decision of the political branch, or you will question it before the Supreme Court?
We'll definitely go all the way against it because fundamentally we don't believe in it. It's against, number one, our faith. Pinaka-importante yun. Yan, labag sa ating pananampalataya bilang Katoliko. Number two,
not everyone is a Catholic. I'm a Muslim.
Well, I don't think you will agree with a law that will go against your faith, Adele. What if they start forcing you to eat pork?
Majority of the Muslim legislators are co-authors of the bill.
No, how would you feel, Adele, if they propose a law that will force the Muslims to eat pork because it's good for the economy?
Well, the RH bill doesn't do that.
No, but they force everybody to follow birth control.
No, but I don't
which
think
we do not.
No, this is freedom of informed choice.
I think
then there is no need for a law. Right now, they have the freedom to allocate their funds, their pork barrel funds, to any population control program. Nobody's stopping them from that.
We have to institutionalize a policy.
But they are going to coerce the Filipinos to go against their faith, using government funds and changing even our appreciation of what is essential medicine. They're going to change the birth control materials as essential medicines when what we need are medicines against hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, and many other problems to our people. But they're going to force.
Well, I will have to disagree with you, Lito, because I think no one is forcing contraceptives on anyone.
And nobody's
after reading the RH bill, I don't see any provision.
Why use government funds? Why allocate 3 billion a year? Who says maybe next year it's going to be 6 billion?
Well, that's the wisdom of the legislature.
Then don't spend government money.
Public policy involves promotion of human rights. Public policy involves promotion of maternal and infant health. Public policy involves the sustainable development.
You talk about your thinking. What about our rights?
That's why
That's
ultimately we will have to vote on this.
Since we are in a democracy,
then we will have to go to the Supreme Court, no less, question the legality, because we believe in the Constitution. The Constitution is pro-life. That's very, very important.
Since we're in a democracy, I'll give you, Edsel, a brief final statement, and then afterwards you, Lito.
This is not against the Catholic faith, because overwhelming majority of the Filipinos in all of these surveys for the past 2 decades are Catholics, and they favor the enactment of the RH bill. Worldwide, it's only the Philippine hierarchy, Catholic hierarchy, against the promotion of reproductive health and family planning. All other countries in the world which are Catholic, Europe and Latin America, they have deferred to the secular government in the promotion of reproductive health and family planning. But we have discussed this 1,000 times, and it's about time we cast our vote. And we are ready to vote, and we are certain we will prevail.
Okay. Lito, last word?
We can discuss this for 1,000,000 years. The question of morals will not change. Yung mga naniniwala sa kasamaan, itong panukalang batas na ito, ay magpapatuloy sa aming pagkontra. Sapagkat magbabago ito ng lahat ng pag-iisip, lalo na ng darating na henerasyon ng mga Pilipino. Tuturuan nyo ng sex ang mga bata at walang pakundanga sa values natin, sa pagpapahalaga natin sa pamilya, at gagamit pa kayo ng pera ng gobyerno sa halip na ito'y gamitin sa mas mahalagang mga bagay, at pipilitin ninyo ang Pilipino na sirain yung kanilang sariling prinsipyo. Kaya maraming kukontra dyan. And we don't care if we belong to the minority or the majority, but we will be against it because it is against our own principles, values, and our own religion. That, to me, are the biggest obstacles to this law, and we hope we put an end to this. Let's concentrate on the bigger problems of the nation. Poverty is still widespread. The economy is still not moving. Let us not divide ourselves by this very, very divisive piece of legislation.
Okay, on that note, since we are a democracy, let us agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Vice Chairman Lito
Thank
and
you.
Congressman Ed
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Tamano Perspective. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.